Hey everybody, I'm going to do a devotional for you today. My name is Garrett, and I'm the young adults pastor here at True Hope. And just want to thank you for tuning in and reading the Bible along with us. If you haven't yet done so, please do that. Turn to 1 Samuel chapter 25, and we're going to be in the first half of a story, verses 1 through 22 today. Tomorrow will be the rest of the story. You can read it all today. I would encourage you to do so because it's a page turner. Like, it's one of those stories you're like, what is going on here? And I certainly had to finish the story and say, what is God doing here and showing us in this passage? But tune in again tomorrow and we'll continue this thought. And as we get ready for our new series, Reentry, one of the topics that we're going to be talking about is anger. And in the passage today, we see that there's a temptation to turn to anger when we receive somebody else's evil or somebody else's ill intent. Somebody else has a lack of gratitude, right? Doesn't show appreciation or care. We have a proper sense of anger. The question is, what are we going to do with that, right? It's okay to engage with people and get upset, right? When somebody doesn't show you the care that they're supposed to show you. Maybe there's all kinds of things in our world today that as we see people, on social media, as we see people responding to the news, as we see people out and about, there's all kinds of things that people are getting angry about. And there's all kinds of selfish things that you might see people doing, or selfish responses when we're put in a situation like the one that we're in. And it may even put somebody else in a bad situation. It may put somebody else down. People are responding to stuff with hate, right? And we can easily be tempted to respond to that in anger ourselves. And that's what we see happen in this passage. We see that a man who has a lot refusing to give it to a man in need, right? And a man who's the anointed king, right? He's not the king yet, but he's already slated to be the king, and he's in need, and he shows respect to this business owner who has lots of cattle, right, and his shepherds. He goes about his business honorably, David does, and expects just a little bit in kindness and generosity from this man, and doesn't receive it. And he says, this is outrageous. Here I am, I've shown kindness. Doesn't he know who I am? And he's speaking to me this way. He'll just turn against me and turn me off in this way. Who is this guy? And David has this response where he's like, I'm going to go kill him and kill all of his sons. And it's like, whoa, chill out a little bit, right? And amazingly, this woman comes into the picture, Abigail, and she steps in as an intermediary. And she speaks into the situation, the words of God, so to speak. And she helps David to calm himself down. And we see, as we'll see tomorrow, the story unfolds in a much better way because David was able to listen to Abigail's heart and her words and recognize that they were wise and that they were from God. And so that's what we are called to do. When we're tempted to respond in anger, let's take a few seconds. Don't respond to the post yet. Don't click on that topic. Don't go on a rant or rave immediately, but take a few moments and say, what's wise? I was just reading in the passage, 1 Corinthians 10:13 yesterday, and it says, the temptation that is common to every man is God will provide a way of escape, it says. And that's the truth that we see in this passage, that David, when he was tempted, God provided him with a way of escape. So what is the thing that you're being tempted to respond hastily to today, and that you need to pause and say, God, what's the wise route to take in this? How can I control my anger and respond in a healthy way? So that's a little bit about what this passage is about, but it's a great story, and I just love how the Bible is full of really practical, interesting, real-life stories like this one. So thank you guys for tuning in. God bless.